guys, it's Diane with Pretty Fun Stuff YouTube channel, and today I have a project share for you. I am really excited to share this with you. I hope you like what I created, and I hope you would like to make this also. I did do a tutorial that will follow after this project share, so I hope that you will join me and make one of your very own. So this project was brought to you by photobella.com. Photobella has provided to me this paper, which is a beautiful collection. It's an Australian Christmas collection. So if you love koala bears and porcupines and cockatoos, and I think you would like this collection. It's called Under the Gum Leaves. So I would like to show you, this is the amount that I have left. Here's the strip, the project pack strip. So it's called Under the Gum Leaves. It's by KaiserCraft. Okay, and that's a sample of the papers. This is what I have left. I have 3 whole sheets left of the papers. So let me flip them over, and then that's the other side. Okay, and I did do an unboxing of this collection, so if you can look at my videos and see the unboxing. I did not use any of the sticker sheet yet. I do plan, hopefully I will use it. I do like stickers, it's just I get so wrapped up in my project sometimes I forget to use them. Also with this collection you get some wood pieces, some curios, which are beautiful. You get some stamps, which is fabulous, and this is what I have left of my ephemera pack. So I do have quite a bit left to do a few more projects. Let me show you now what I made. It's a little folio, a little Christmas folio. So let me move this out of the way. So yeah, isn't that cute? This is my own design. So on the front, this is in the paper collection. You get a whole sheet of where you could fussy cut the animals. Here's a sample of the 12 by 12 paper. And so what I did is I fussy cut all the little animals out, and I tried to use them in this folio. I made some flowers to embellish the front. You can use any poinsettia dies you have in your stash and make a few little poinsettias, or you could buy some at the store to embellish. So on the front I just used the fussy cut little koala bear, and the paper I used some gold paper I had in my stash, and that's how I did the front. Then on the side, the branding strips on each of the papers has some sayings. This one says Christmas brings us closer together, so I included that on my spine. And then on the back is the little kangaroo. Isn't that so cute? And I wrapped his tail around to the side. And then on this side, this is another little branding strip that I cut out from the paper. So you open it up, and I do have a Velcro, but I also have a magnet in here, hidden in here. The magnet wasn't quite holding once I got all the papers on, so I just wanted to hold this down a little bit more, so that's why I put a little Velcro dot there. So you open it up this way, and then it opens up again like this, and then it opens again like this. So there you go, so you can see everything there. Okay, so on the first front page I have a graphic 45 regular size tag, and this is one that little animals that I fussy cut. This is from the ephemera pack, so I included that, and then I've included some really reasonable ribbon up here. So, and then I left the tag plain to put a picture on the back of that, and this holds this closed. So you got a pocket here with a flap. I put some lace here I had in my stash, and then these are from the ephemera pack. So I just, you know, placed those in a pleasing display and glued those down. So this flap comes up, and then I have a graphic 45 square tag, and this is the portrait of the emu. So I put him on that tag, left the other side blank for a picture, and then I made a little photo mount card. This measures 4.5 by 6.5, so a 4 by 6 picture can go on the back. And then that's a little platypus. And then here's the little pocket with the flap. So you could put a picture here if you wanted to. And then a picture here. And then that goes in the pocket. And then the tag. The flap closes down. And then the tag goes in there to keep that closed. Then the next section, I have a little waterfall. So I decorated this with the ephemera. This is also the ephemera. You open that up. This is held by a magnet, and then I have my little waterfall. Now I did not use any papers to cover this because I figured I would put pictures on it, so I didn't really need to cover it with papers. Plus I needed I was kind of running out of the papers, so I just leave it blank. If you want to cover that with all your papers, I say go for it. I think it looks nice when you have all the little papers sticking out in all these little sections. But yeah, so that's what I did there, and then that closes with a magnet. Then the next section, I put some lace here. Here's from the paper, which is beautiful. You open this up, and then here I have a couple little tuck spots. I had a tag die from my stash, and I just made the little tag out of the paper, and I only glued down this section of the little kangaroo so I could tuck that in there as a little tuck spot. Did the same here with this little ornament, and this is just a little cute little place to journal. Okay, and that goes like that, and that closes up, and there's a magnet in there. The next page, open this up, plenty of room for a nice photo right there. And then this is a little gatefold. Again, I used a little porcupine. This is an Australian porcupine. So you open this up, and then I have two little flaps, a couple little critters here. Open that up, and you have more room for photos. So I think that turned out really cute. And close that, and then your gatefold, you close this, and there's a magnet in here that keeps that closed. And that's my little folio. So I hope y'all like it. The papers are very pretty, and especially if you live in Australia or you know somebody who is from Australia, I think making this little folio as a Christmas gift, they would just be so surprised to receive something like this. And you know, this can be masculine or feminine, so keep that in mind. And if you stick with me after this little project share, I do have the tutorial to follow. If you hang in, the tutorial will come up next and you can make this. I'm only doing the base. I'm not decorating it. I'm going to let you choose to decorate how do you like, but it is a tutorial to make the base of this little folio. Again, thank you for joining me. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again real soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, hey you guys, I'm back. So this is going to be the tutorial on how to complete my Under the Gum Leaves folio. So I am going to just make the base for you, and then you can either use this paper to cover yours or another kind of paper that's already in your stash. So this collection was presented to me by photobella.com, and this is my design team project. And let me do a quick flip through of this little folio. This is what we'll be making the base today. Here's the back. This is an Australian Christmas theme paper collection. So it opens like this, and then it opens out like this, and then it opens again. So it's pretty long. It's about 22 inches long. And of course, here's a pocket and a flap. You have a tag and a photo mount there. So we'll do that. We'll do the waterfall. We'll do the waterfall, and then we'll put this flap in. Okay. And then here's the gatefold. And then we'll put these flaps in. Okay, so that's what we'll be making. Okay, and then it folds up like this. Alright, so that's what we're going to make. We're just going to make the base though, okay? You can decorate it however you'd like. Alright, so let's get started. Now, I would suggest to cut all your cardstock first, okay? Let me tell you what you're going to need. You're going to need, for the base, you're going to need 2 8.5 by 11 any color cardstock, and this is 110 pounds, okay? So you're going to need 2 of those. Then you're going to need about, it's 8 or 9 pieces of 65-pound weight cardstock for your pockets, your flips, and your flaps and everything. So we'll go over this in a minute. Let's go ahead and cut your pieces. That way you can cut them, get everything cut and ready to go. So this is what you're going to be cutting. The first piece of 65-pound weight cardstock, you're going to cut a 6 3/8 by 3 3/4. This is going to be the pocket on the inside of the folio. So that's your measurement, 6 3/8 by 3 3/4. And I'll go over the instructions, but we're going to score on this side, okay, and on this side. And then you're going to score again here, all a 1/2 inch, and we'll do that together. Go ahead and just cut your cardstock right now. So that's what you're gonna, that's your first piece you're gonna cut. Then the next piece, you're gonna cut 5 1/4 by 4 1/2. This is for your inside flap. 5 1/4 by 4 1/2. Then for your waterfall, you're going to cut 6 pieces, 5 by 4 3/4. Okay, that's 6 pieces, 5 by 4 3/4. And you can get 2 of these out of one 8.5 by 11 inch sheet. Okay, now you will have some scraps. Just set those aside. Then with your scraps, pick a scrap that you can cut down to 5 1/4 by 1 1/8. Okay, 5 1/4. That's for your strip that holds the waterfall. So 5 1/4 by 1 1/8. So that's for your waterfall. Okay. The next thing you're going to cut, you're going to cut a piece 10 1/2 by 7 1/2. We'll go over the scoring in a minute. Just cut your piece of cardstock 10 1/2 by 7 1/2. Okay, for your gatefold, you're going to cut 2 3 1/4 by 7 1/2. 3 1/4 by 7 1/2. You need 2 of those. Then the last thing you're going to cut, 2 4 1/4 by 3 3/4. 4 1/4 by 3 3/4. So feel free to cut and pause during this segment. Okay, let's get started. So you're going to take your 2 8 1/2 by 11 inch 110-pound cardstock. You're going to cut the 8 1/2 inch side down to 7 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, I'm going to cut this down to 7 1/2. Okay, cut both pieces to 7 1/2. All right, now I'm going to set that aside. I don't think I need that anymore. I don't think. Okay, anyway, all right. So now we're going to put these together, okay? You will need a 1/2 inch of score tape. You can also use a 1/4 of an inch and an 1/8 of an inch if that's what you have, okay? You can just use a 1/4 of an inch. It's a folio. It should be fine. If you want to use score tape and glue, you can. You can also just use glue. Okay, well that was a mess up. Boy, this stuff is really sticky. Alright, so I'm going to put this down right at the edge. In fact, I'm going to do it in segments because it's so sticky. Normally I would do just one hole, but this particular brand is really, really sticky. Alright, and then I'm going to get that little bit. Okay. I'm going to get it right at the edge. Can you see me? Right at... Good grief. I put a little glue down there. Alright. Gosh. Okay. Put just a little bit of glue where that come up. It'll be fine. Alright. So let's take that off. Then I'm going to take my scoreboard and line it up so I can get it even. And I only want to take a 1/2 of an inch. I don't want to go over a 1/2 of an inch. So about right there. Make sure it's even and varnish that down. Okay, so there we go. There's our piece. Okay. So that measures 7.5 by about 22, I think. 21.5. Okay. All right. Now, oops, we're going to score. Take your piece and we're going to score it. And our first score is going to be at 5.5. So go over to 5.5 and you're going to score that. And this is thick, so don't do it too hard, but just do it a couple of times. Then you're going to score at 6 1/8. So that's right here, 6 1/8. And you're going to score that. Okay. And then turn it around and we're going to start at the other end and score. This side we're going to score 2 3/4. 2 3/4. Okay. Oops, it jumped. 2 3/4. Okay, and then we're going to score at 3.5. 3.5. Okay, and then we're going to score at 9 1/4. 9 1/4. Okay, 9 1/4, and then we're going to score at 10. Okay. All right, those are our score lines. So the first side we have 5.5, 6 1/8. Flip it over. Score at 2 3/4, 3.5, 9 1/4, and 10. Okay, and that's it for that scoring. And then we're going to fold out our score lines. Okay, so here's the beginnings of our folio. Okay, so as you can see, we fold it over, then we fold it again, and then here's our, see, so this would be our closure. That's the front. Okay, that's what it should look like. All right. Now, if you want, you can round these. You can take your corner rounder and round the corners if you like. This one, I'm going to leave square this time. So, but you can round them if you want to. All right, let's work on the inside now. So, we're going to take our little stack of our already cut pieces. We're going to take the first one. This is the inside pocket. Okay, we're going to score all around the pocket a 1/2 inch. Okay, so let's get the scoreboard back out, and we're going to score. You're going to score a 1/2 inch here. Remember, this is 65-pound weight. Okay, and then I just turn it and I score it again. I'm scoring a 1/2 inch. Oops, try not to move it. And then turn it again and score one more time. There we go. Okay, and then you take this, we're going to fold it. Okay, let's fold this side like so, and we're going to fold here. Okay, and you can varnish it. Okay, then for our pocket, I am going to cut, see where the corners meet? We're going to cut and just leave a tiny bit like that. Okay, pretty close. You're going to cut pretty close, but not cut into it. Okay, then what happens is you fold this up, fold this over, and then you put your glue here and you put that down into your folio, and that's your pocket. If you want to cut a put a notch in there, you can take a little circle punch like this and punch a notch if you want, or you can take your envelope punch and you can punch a notch in here. So for example, on my folio, see I have that notch. If you want that notch, that's using the envelope punch board. Okay, I'm just going to leave this one plain this time. I'm not going to punch a notch. We're just going to put the pocket in like this. So let's go ahead and come to our folio and let's glue this down. Okay, so punch your notch if you want a notch at this point, and let's glue this down. So just going to put a little glue here and here and here. Okay, and then we're going to put this right here at the end. You want to center it on your folio. Okay, make sure it's lining up at the bottom. You're just going to center it and let that set. Okay, make sure it's not showing here on that side, but you want it as close as you can get it without it showing. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to cover this with paper anyway, so you'll cover up your writing. Okay, all right, there we go. Now we're going to add the flap. That's the next step. So we're going to take our flap. This is the 5 1/4 by 4 1/2 piece. You're going to score a 1/2 inch at the top. So I am going to turn it like so. Okay, and I'm going to score my 1/2 inch. You're putting it in the 4 1/2 inch side, and then you're scoring down the 5 1/4 inch side. Okay, then flip it over and you will fold, and then you varnish. Here's a tip to make sure this doesn't crack, because with thicker cardstock it could crack. With designer cardstock that could crack. If you score down, you're going into the paper, right? So when you fold, you want to fold on the other side. So let me repeat that. Remember, this is the writing. This is the front. You want to score on the front. Okay? Score on the front. But when you fold, because you're pushing into the paper, so you're making a valley or a dip into the paper when you're scoring. When you turn your paper to fold it, you are encouraging that fold. So you won't get any cracking here. If you did it the reverse, you could possibly crack your cardstock on the other side. If you decide to fold it this way, you could possibly crack it. So just a little tip. I hope I explained that well enough. Alright, so next step, we are going to glue this to the center top. Okay, and this creates your little flap. Okay. If you want to make sure you get it straight, you can bring over your scoreboard and you can do this little number. And this way, you know, now you want to center it. You don't want to go all the way to the edge. Okay? But see how I centered it? I didn't go all the way. Okay? So you want to make sure that's centered in your piece. Okay? So there's your flap. And then you have your tag. And I used a graphic 45 tag. Let's see if I have one right here I can pull out real quick. I used one graphic 45 regular tag, one square tag, and I used, I cut a piece of scrap cardstock measuring 4.5 by 6.5. So what I'm talking about is, so on this, you have your graphic 45 tag. Okay, so that's going to go in the front to keep it closed. See how that's keeping that closed? And then on the inside, this is what I'm talking about, the insert. It's 4.5 by 6.5. You can put whatever size in here you want and decorate it however you want. That's just a suggestion. Then I used a square tag by Graphic 45 and decorated that. Again, you can use whatever tag, anything that you already have in your stash. And then this tag keeps it closed. You can also, if you don't want to put a tag with this, you could put an insert, a photo mount in there to keep it closed. That's totally up to you. Okay? This is just a suggestion. Okay, so there, that would keep that flap closed. Okay, now the next page. This is where we put in our waterfall. So get your next set of papers. You're going to get your 6 waterfall pieces, and you're going to get your little skinny piece. Okay, put this aside for now. We're going to take the first waterfall piece. This measures 5 by 4 3/4. We are going to score, okay, a 1/2 inch. So let me bring my scoreboard back out. So I am going to turn this upside down. Okay, so you're going to put your piece in with the 5 inch at the 5 inch length, okay, on your scoreboard. And then we're going to score at a 1/2 inch. Okay, we're going to do each piece like this. Okay, so I'm scoring a 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to turn this over and fold. Okay, we'll do the next one. You're going to your 5-inch side, score, flip it over, fold. Okay. Next one. So you'll do all of these. And I can fast forward through this so you don't have to keep seeing this. So I'm just gonna keep going. I'll just fast forward through this segment. Okay. Okay, so now we've got those all scored. Now, here's a suggestion. My suggestion for this is to put your paper down first. I suggest a stripe or something with lines this way that you could actually line up so you don't get it crooked. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put this down. You could decorate each of your pieces before laying them down if you wanted to do that. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to put down the first and the second one so you can see how I do, and then I'll probably fast forward through the rest of it. Okay, so we're going to take this and put our glue on the flap. Okay, you're going to center it, and show you this way. You're going to center it in between the two score lines. Okay, and I'm going all the way to the top. You don't have to go all the way to the top. You can simply start midway. You can, you know, you have plenty of room. If you want to start 1/4 of an inch down, you can. I just started at the top. It was easier being that I don't have any paper down. It's easier for me to see where to see how that lined up. Alright, so that's my start. Okay, I'm going to do another one, and I'm going to turn it because for me, it helps me to get at it from a little bit of an angle. If you're okay with going straight on, then however you're most comfortable putting it together. Okay, but we're just going to add each one of these. I'm going to bump this one up next to this one. Okay, I'm just going to bump them up. I'm going to make sure that I'm even on either side, and also I want to make sure that these are lining up. Okay, so make sure it's even here and here, and then make sure when you fold that down that they're all sitting on top of each other. Okay, you can varnish there. You can also, like, there's a little bubble right there. I can always put a piece of paper over that so you don't see that. Okay, and you just continue to glue your waterfall pieces. Okay, I'm going to do the next one. again, you're just going to bump it up even with the last one. Okay, make sure that it's straight. Make sure that you're right on top of the last one. Well, that the other ones are sitting right on top of it. Okay, and then of course you want to check and make sure you get your glue off. Now this will later be covered with pictures, so you won't see that. Okay, so I'm going to continue to finish the waterfall, and then we'll do the little strip. So I'll be right back. Let me just fast forward. I'll just fast forward. Okay, so I have my waterfall in. Okay, there's your waterfall. Now we're going to make this little piece, and we're going to put that, and we'll put our magnet on. So you're going to take your 5 1/4 by 1 1/8. We're going to score it. I'm going to score at a 1/2 inch, okay, on the 5 1/4 inch side. Okay. Okay, so I finished the waterfall. Okay, we got that in. It's all even here. And we're going to take the 5 1/4 by 1 1/8 inch strip. You're going to score at a 1/2 inch. You're going to fold it over. Then you're going to glue that in the center here. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue that. I want to make sure that it's centered in between, let's see, so there, so it's going to be right about here. So you just want to center it, and I just used my craft mat to help me to center it. Okay, so now your designer paper, you're gonna see, normally you would put your designer paper all the way down and you would see it here, but in this particular folio, I'll put my paper here, okay, and I'll cover up that little strip. Then when your waterfall closes, and we'll put a magnet right here with a little decorative piece, when you close it, then that keeps your waterfall closed. So I'm not going to put the magnet in, but I will show you where you're going to put it. Okay, so I'm going to get a couple of magnets here. Alright, I got a couple magnets. You are going to put one here, and then once you have a decorative piece on here, you can either put it behind the decorative piece, or you could put it right here and cover this with your decorative piece. So you just use some double-sided tape to stick that down. So you'll put one here, and then once, like for example, let me just, I don't really want to put it in there yet because of course I'm not decorating, but you'll go ahead and place that in there. Put your magnet down, and okay, let me show you this way. Go ahead and put your magnet where you want it. It's too hard to do it otherwise. Let's see. I'm going to use this because it's not as strong, and I can take it off if I need to. I'm just doing this for you guys. So I'm going to put my magnet here, right? Because I'm going to cover this up with paper, right? Okay. And where'd that magnet go? Okay. Now, so I got that down. I'm going to put this on top, and I'm going to put some sticky, and take some of my, this would be the Suquan or the stronger tape that you're going to use. I'm going to put my magnet on my sticky side of the tape. Leave the sticky side up like that. Okay? See that? Okay. Then I'm going to put this down. Actually, I want it this way for this. Okay? Alright. So you put your magnet down where you want it. Then you stick your magnet on the sticky tape. Okay? And then you're going to fold over and just rub it. Now, your magnet stuck to that part. So now it's in the right place to hold. Okay? And then you can decorate how you please. Okay? But that's how that works. Okay? I hope I explained that well. Alright, so let's go. So now we've got this one done, this one done. Now we need to do our flap. So we're going to take our 10 by 7.5 inch cardstock. We're going to score it in a couple of places. So the first place that we're going to score it is 1/2 inch. Okay, so you're going to put it the 10.5-inch side on the scoreboard. Oops. Sorry, you guys. Okay. So put your paper in. 10.5-inch side is this your landscape. You're going to score at a 1/2 inch. So let's do that. Score at a 1/2 inch. And then here we're going to score at 6. Okay. Score at 6. Alright. Now, I think, let me just double check. So, I'm going to go ahead and fold it. Get them folded. We're going to varnish. Okay. Now, I folded it both down like this. This one, I want to come bring it back and fold it this way. Okay. You want to fold it both because we scored on top. We need to fold it this way. But then you can go back and fold it the way you want it. And then you don't get any cracks. Okay. Now that we have that folded, this is the proper way to fold it. See, we have that page in there. We have that flap. Now we're going to glue this in. So we're going to glue it in here, right next, not on that crease. Remember, we have that fold there. So you don't want to put it on the fold. You want to put it right beside it. You want to give it some room so it'll fold over. Okay? So let's glue that down. Put glue on your 1/2 inch score area. And then I'm just going to glue this down right next to, make sure that you're even on top and bottom. But I'm going to put it right next to my score line, but not on top of it. Okay? And that gives you that little page. See that? And then that way it fits nicely in there. Everything fits nicely. Okay? And make sure it's straight. Alright. So there's that page. Oops, my phone tilted again. Sorry about that. Alright. So there we got that page in. Okay? That's how you put in a page. So we're almost done. Now all we got left is the gatefold. So we're going to put the gatefold in this area. Okay? So that's the next step. So take your little gatefold pieces, your 3 1/4 by 7 1/4. Okay? And we're going to score a 1/2 inch on each side. So I'm going to score a 1/2 inch. You're going to put it in. Your 3 1/4 is going to be here, and score at a 1/2 inch. Okay. And then we're going to do the same on this one. Score at a 1/2 inch. Okay. Alright, and then we're going to fold it and varnish. So I scored here, flip the paper over, and then you're going to fold it up. Okay? Alright. So that's for your gatefold. Let's go ahead and glue this down. We're going to put this one on this side and this one on this side. Again, you don't want to put it right on top of that line. You want to put it right next to it. Okay, so let's glue that down. Okay, and I'm going to put this right next to my fold. I'm going to make sure I can fold that up. We'll make sure that you're lining up the top and the bottom. That can close. We're good. Okay. All right. There you go. Okay. So that's in. You're going to put your paper on top of this. So you're not going to see, when your decorative paper is on top of here, you're not going to see this. This is going to be covered. Okay. So that's your first part of your gatefold. Then we're going to put glue on this one. And we're going to place this one right beside that line right there. Hold on. Let me, my phone is not staying very well. Let me make an adjustment so this will stop moving. So pardon me for just a second. I'm going to fix this problem. Alright, here we go. I'm going to fix you. There we go. Alright, that's better. Okay, so to continue, we're going to take the other half of the gatefold. I'm going to put glue on here, and I'm going to glue this down right next to my score line. Okay, so here we go. All right, we can glue this down right, and you want to make sure that your top and bottom are lining up. Make sure that this can close. All right, right next to your score line. Okay, there you go. Okay, now I like it a little bit closer than this, so next time I would be more aware so I don't have a gap there. But what you can do is any kind of decorative 3x5 card or an embellishment or ephemera card or ephemera itself, you can glue it on one side and have a magnet on the other and hold that down. You can have a Velcro piece to hold it down. Okay, that's just a suggestion. So for example, in mine, I used a ephemera piece. Okay, so what I did, I took my ephemera piece, I fussy cut him out, I glued him on one side of my gatefold, and I put a magnet down here. Then whenever I went to go cover this with my designer paper, I went ahead and took a scrap and covered this too, and I glued that down. When it was dry, I fussy cut around here. Okay, with my scissors, I fussy cut it out, or you could take your X-Acto knife and cut it out. Either way. And then that way this is covered and it covers your magnet. You could also, well, no, you can't put your magnet here because it's not going to hold. Your decorative or your ephemera card, you have to put the magnet in there because you got to have something here, because my magnet's sitting in here. One magnet is here, one magnet is in here, and that's how that closes. Okay, So just a reminder. Okay. Now let's continue. We're going to do our last little flaps, and that's inside the gatefold. You're going to take your 4 1/4 by 4 3/4, your 2 pieces that are left. You're going to score 1/2 inch on each top and bottom. So I'm going to score. You're going to put it in your board with your 4 3/4 inch side, and you're going to score the 4 1/4 side at 1/2 inch. Okay, I'm going to score that, and we're going to do the same for the other piece. Okay, so you got 4 3/4, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay, flip it over. Okay, all right, there's my last 2 little flaps. We're done with this. I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to glue this in to our folio. So put the glue on the top flap, and I'm going to center this. I'm going to center this between my gatefold. Okay, so about right in there. Make sure that that's kind of touching at the top. Lining up at the top. Okay. Make sure it's centered here. Let's see. I need to move it over just a little bit. I want to make sure that that's centered. Okay, you just want to make sure that it's centered in between your 2 gatefolds. So that's pretty close. All right. And nobody's gonna check your measurements later. So, but if it bothers you, you want to make sure you're lining it up. So that one's in, and then we're gonna do the last one. I'm going to put glue here, and I'm going to put this one at the bottom. Okay. Okay. So, let's put glue on this one. And then we'll be done. Got a little bit too much there. Okay, and again, I want to center this in between. And you can use your other one to kind of check to make sure that they're in line with one another. So use your other one to make sure they're meeting at the corners. And there you go. Get rid of the extra glue. And keep in mind, all these little 1/2 inch scores are going to be covered with designer paper. So nobody's going to see that. Alright, so there you go. There's your little gatefold. You open it up that way, and then you open it up like that. Okay, and you don't need any magnet or anything for this because you have it here. This is what keeps everything closed. Okay, all right, that is the base, and then on here you could put a magnet here to close that. You can use a ribbon if you want to do a ribbon and do a tie closure in the center. So there's multiple ways. You can do Velcro. little Velcro dots to close it. So, but there's your folio. I think it measures 7.5 by 5.5. Yeah. Okay. So there you open it up this way, this way, this way. You got, here's your flap with your pocket. You can always add lots of things in the pocket. You have your waterfall. You have your page here. And you have your gatefold. Alright, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. You can cover this with any kind of paper that you have in your stash. I would, if you need some paper, I would suggest photobella.com. And this is Diane with Pretty Fun Stuff. Thank you for joining me today. And be sure to like and subscribe. Ring that little bell so you'll get notifications when I have other videos that comes out. And I hope you liked this little tutorial. Y'all take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.